Good morning and welcome to Living Local 15. Thank you so much for joining me today. First up, the Debutants Hoot Camp joins me in studio as they share about their youth string camp in collaboration with Purdue Fort Wayne. Then it's Women's Wealth Wednesday with Foster Financial, and we're discussing financial planning and risk assessment. And later, Plexaderm is here as they share how to get rid of those eye bags and stubborn wrinkles with their product. Are you ready? Let's get started.
Fashion, food, and fun. You're watching Living Local 15 with your host, Jessica Williams.
Purdue Arts Academy and Bobcat Opossum presents the Debutants Hoot Camp, which is taking place July 28th through August 1st. Now here to tell us all about it is Ellen Coplin, who is the camp director, and Sean Hoffman, who is also the camp director. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. How are you guys doing?
Great. Thanks for having us.
Yes. I'm so thrilled to learn about this camp because I know that you all are very passionate about the instruments that you play, and you have the opportunity to share it with students. So tell me first, what is the age range for the camp?
Go ahead.
We're kind of aiming at 10 to 10 years old to 18.
So
like
fourth grade through
fourth
high
grade
school.
through high school. Yeah.
Yeah, and so with the hoot in it, it kind of explain that camp and what instruments are involved.
So the word hoot we sort of used as a play off of the word hootenanny, which is like a get together where everybody just plays and has fun. And we also we're bouncing off of the word boot camp, where you go and study something really intensively. So we want to have a really intensive experience, but in a more playful, fun way, where the students just come and play together and jam and work with the instructors and one-on-one and in teams.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Get a little hootenanny going.
Yeah.
So what are the instruments, Sean, that are involved in this?
So we kind of just expanded it to all the instruments that are included in Debutantes, I guess. So mandolin, fiddle and violin, cello, bass, guitar, banjo, mandolin. I think we're including viola too. So if there's any errant viola players out there that want to play and are interested in kind of fiddle style, we're going to be ready for that too.
Okay, so this is taking place July 28th through August 1st. So kind of break down what this camp will look like on a day-to-day basis.
So we'll check in the morning around 9:30, and we're going to have the kids do small groups and big groups throughout the day. So in the morning you might have a small group where you get together with everybody who plays guitar, if you're a guitar student, or everybody who plays fiddle, and just work on stuff as a team together. And then we're going to have a break in the middle where you can go to an elective, which is something you choose to study that week.
Okay.
So the teachers will offer a songwriting class, an improv class, maybe an introduction to percussion class, just a little bit of a separate time where you can study something you're interested in. And then we'll have a lunch break and get back together again in the afternoon as a big group and work on stuff in band settings, so that you have a violin, a guitar, a banjo, a mandolin, all playing together in one group and working on how to work together as a team.
Yeah, okay, cool. And so, of course, you all bring a lot of experience. You're both a part of the very popular Debutantes band that Fort Wayne knows and love. And so let's talk a little bit deeper about your experience and maybe some instruments that you specialize in. We'll start with you, Sean.
Okay, sure, yeah. I play fiddle with Debutantes and also Bobcat Opossum. So that's kind of what I'm focusing on for the camp. Ellen and I have taught a lot of camps, but the rest of the band, we're kind of dragging them along a little bit, We're hey guys, you'll be great at this, trust me.
Yeah.
Well, we have some teachers in the band.
Yeah.
We've just never done this in Fort Wayne together. So we're really excited to have this be the first year.
Yeah, and so Ellen, let's talk about your experience and what instruments you play.
I played cello, and I started as a kid playing piano, and I still love to play piano, but I chose the cello so that I could play more with other people. And that has been a really fun way for me to make new friends. I've traveled and played music with other people in different places, and so playing the cello has really been like a window to the world and connected me with a lot of people. And that's something that I want to share with other students, just to give them the confidence and the knowledge that they can take their instrument and use it as a way to express themselves and make new friends.
Yeah, absolutely. And so how does this camp kind of culminate? So after days of practicing, rehearsing, learning, and you have so many, such a variety of different instruments, do you all come together at the end for a big performance, a jam session? How do you cross instruments?
Yeah, that's the idea, that we're going to have a big final concert on Friday at the end of the camp, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So hopefully it'll be, I think we're still ironing out the location. We have
some good ideas.
Yeah,
so,
we have some good ideas, just working out the details of everything. So.
Okay.
But the most important thing is that the students are all going to be like showcasing what they learned that week and playing with the band.
Yeah.
And hopefully that'll be a really cool performance opportunity for them, just to have some like stage experience where they know what it's like to get on the stage and play as a band. So.
Well, it sounds like an exclusive venue. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
How can people register to sign up for your camp?
pfw.edu/hoot-camp.
All right.
That'll get you there.
All right. Well, thank you both so much for coming in and chatting.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks.
And if you would like more information about the Debutante Hoot Camp, which is taking place July 28th through August 1st, this camp is open from 10-year-olds all the way up to 18-year-olds. Then check out the website that is listed below, and I'll see you after the break.
Have an idea for the show? Want to find out how you can be a guest? Contact us at livinglocal15@wayne.com.
This segment sponsored by Foster Financial. Welcome back to Women's Wealth Wednesday, which is an exciting day because we get to talk about finances and how they apply specifically to women. And joining me today is Caleb Doan, the Vice President of Foster Financial. Hi, Caleb.
Hi.
Welcome.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Yes. Okay, so we've been on this discussion about basic financial planning. And I know last time we talked about cash flow analysis. So what will we discuss today?
Yeah. So there are kind of a few key pieces of financial planning. Cash flow analysis, certainly one of them. The one we'll talk about today is a risk assessment. So it's identifying, okay, how risky or how conservative should somebody's financial plan be? How risky or conservative should their 401k be? And it's really an important part of financial planning because people kind of fall all over the spectrum there, and it has a big impact, especially when we kind of extend it out long term with a lot of time in the stock market.
Yeah, okay, so as people kind of decide if they're risky,
Right, yeah.
how risky they want to be, I like that word. How does that apply exactly to a financial plan? Like, do they build in their risks into the plan?
Yeah, so I mean, there's kind of a subjective part and an objective part when we think about, how growth oriented or how conservative somebody should be. And usually this ends up, determining, okay, what percentage of their portfolio do they have in, riskier assets like equities, stock, and what percentage of their portfolio do they have in more conservative assets like bonds or CDs. So it's really that percentage that we're kind of looking to target. That's kind of the end goal of the risk assessment there. But there's this subjective side and objective side. For the subjective piece, we have them take a quiz, and it has kind of different scenarios on it. And one of the questions that I like in there is, if your portfolio lost 20% of its value, what would you do? And the options are, okay, I'd immediately sell and want to go to a more conservative investment. I'd stay the course. I'd want to buy the dip, when it's down. And it just helps us identify what somebody's kind of natural reaction is to that. And people have very different answers, and it can certainly impact what we do.
Well, it's funny because I'm sure if they took that test like a year ago,
Right.
they didn't know they were going to be in that spot this year.
Yeah.
To make that decision. And I love when you said a risk test, it's not like would you jump off of a bridge. It's like literal. literal financial decisions.
Yeah.
And so as people are thinking about just the fundamentals of a financial plan, and when you're putting in this risk assessment, what other areas of the financial plan is impacted by what they end up landing on for their risk value?
Yeah, I mean, it can ultimately determine, a kind of expected growth rate for the account. And so if somebody is extremely conservative and doesn't really want any sort of downside potential in their portfolio, there are certain, investment vehicles we can use for that, but they might, be exposing themselves to another risk. Maybe their assets aren't keeping up with inflation or something like that because, you're not participating in the stock market. So, that's why we like to have that kind of behavioral side. There's also more of an objective side too, which is, okay, actually, how much are you going to be relying on the investment accounts in retirement? What is your net worth? How much money do you need to pull out of the account every month for basic living expenses? Because, that essentially is pointing towards what's the time horizon on the money. And if somebody, is just living on their pension and Social Security and they really don't need to touch their investment assets, they can tend to, afford to be a little bit more growth oriented.
Right.
Because if the market dropped, 15 or 20%, obviously nobody likes to see that on their portfolio, but it's not going to negatively impact their ability to meet their basic living needs because all that's covered through pension and Social Security. And obviously, the other side of the spectrum, if you need to withdraw a bunch of money for a new home purchase in a few years, but you want to be really growth oriented, we're probably going to tell you, hey, we want to pump the brakes a little bit. We need to be a little bit more moderate or conservative with this money because if the market drops 20%, I don't want you to not be able to buy that house that you're planning on. So we have both those sides, and we update that, frequently too, because like you said, somebody can be optimistic and say, hey, I'd buy the dip, and then the market drops, and they're like, whoa, I'm not sure if I want to do that anymore. So we certainly update that over time.
Well, that leads me to the next question that I have, Caleb. Since we're here, we have your expertise, okay, and like real life experiences.
Yeah.
So as you have been working with your clients, do you first find that people are more risky, or they're more conservative on average?
Yeah, I mean, on average, most of the people that we deal with end up kind of being moderate. I would say people are usually invested oftentimes a little bit more conservative than what they think. Because, over time, we find a lot of people come to us, and especially with interest rates being a little high over the last few years, they have a ton of money in money market accounts, in CDs, in checking and savings. And we factor that in as a part of your portfolio because that's part of your kind of liquid net worth. And so someone's stock accounts might be, 70-30 or something like that, which is usually an appropriate level of risk, for kind of a moderate to growth investor. But then they have, 250 grand in a money market fund at their bank. And so we say, okay, that, brings your average, a lot more towards the moderate or conservative side. And so sometimes that's where we look to increase risk a little bit.
Okay, and then my next question is, if someone fills out that survey or they initially went with a more riskier option, what actually plays out when things do happen? Like, do you find that most people that chose risky stay comfortable being risky when the time calls, or do they kind of like, clutch their pearls?
Right, yeah. I think I think this is where having a financial advisor can help a little bit too, because again, we zoom out, we look at that long-term goal, and we're not going to make somebody riskier than what we think that the portfolio can sustain. And so if somebody is risky and the account values drop like we've seen so far, this year, then we can remind them, hey, look, this was what our long-term goal was. We're still anticipating a recovery. And then when we tend to focus on those long-term goals, it helps them kind of get through it. But if we find that they're really uncomfortable, once we do see a recovery, sometimes we talk about lowering the risk then. And we say, hey, remember, you were kind of worried about that. Maybe we lower the risk level so if it happens again, you're not losing sleep over it.
Right. So I'm sure nothing really shocks you with your experience.
We've seen it all. So,
right. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Caleb. Great chatting with you.
Yeah, thank you.
And if you would like more information about Foster Financial or would like to give them a call, they offer complimentary consultations. We'll have their phone number listed below, and I'll see you after the break. This segment sponsored by Foster Financial.
Follow us on social media at Living Local 15.
Enjoy fun in the sun on Living Local 15. Become a tourist in your own city. Visit your favorite spots and have some fun with me. From kayaking to rappelling off a building, I show you ways to have an adventure in Northeast Indiana every weekday morning at 9 on WANE 15. So join me, Jessica Williams, for Living Local 15.
Watch Living Local 15 with Jessica Williams weekdays at 9 on WANE 15 and catch past episodes on WANE.com.
This segment sponsored by Plexaderm. I know a lot of our viewers have seen Plexaderm either on social media or TV, and they promise to help shrink your under eye bag and wrinkles from view. And if you haven't tried it, well, get ready to be amazed. Today, I brought Amy Vanderhoff on the show to show us how Plexaderm can help reverse the visible signs of aging in just 10 minutes. Hey, Amy.
Good to see you. Yes, I bring all of that good news. This is a product that actually delivers on expectations. Because when you get Plexaderm home and you apply it to clean, dry skin, we are doing just that, eliminating dramatically so these signs of aging like under eye bags, lines, wrinkles, and the results last up to 10 hours.
Wow. That is incredible. I have to tell you, I love seeing all the pictures and the videos, the befores and the afters, because it shows how it really does work. So now let's take a moment to show our viewers how that they don't need an actual doctor's visit, and this is a topical serum.
Yes, as you're looking at these before and afters, I'm going to tell you what you're seeing.
Okay.
Plexaderm is a serum that dries quickly and invisibly on the skin. No one will know you have it on. It's undetectable. That's why any skin tone, any skin texture, any skin type can use Plexaderm. You apply it in a thin layer where you want that sign of aging to disappear for the day. Under eye bags, crow's feet, heavy forehead lines. Maybe for you it's those brow lines right between like the 11 lines, or nose to mouth lines. It works really well there. So clean, dry skin, you wait 10 minutes to let the application set, and then you're going to enjoy these results for all day, up to 10 hours, or all night, maybe for that special event or that wedding or reunion, however you want to use Plexaderm.
Yeah, that sounds pretty great, but I have a question for you, because I'm sure people are wondering, what studies have been done on Plexaderm to really show these results?
We love talking clinical trials because we see these before and after results, and they are amazing. So what's the science behind it? What's been proven? Well, Plexaderm in clinical trials has been tested not only for efficacy, but for duration. So let's talk around the mouth. For efficacy, 74% reduction was seen. When you go underneath the under eye bags and those crow's feet, 80% reduction was studied. And forehead lines, get this, 85% reduction was seen in this area.
Wow.
And as far as duration and clinical trials, Plexaderm has been proven to last up to 10 hours. So this is going to be your secret weapon that's front and center on your counter anytime you didn't get a good night's sleep, or you just had a good cry, or maybe you ate some salty food, or maybe you're on a new medication, and whatever's happening on your face, the under eye bags are more pronounced, the wrinkles are there. You want to eliminate those signs. Plexaderm will be right there, your secret weapon.
Yeah, those are really great examples, because you think about like, how long do I need this on my face? You know, people are tempted to try it, but it's like, will it dissolve? So really, it allows for people to have an opportunity to really try the product, see the results, and then it's safe to use ongoing, right?
Yeah, safe to use ongoing. And you want to use things that are formulated for the very sensitive area of your face. And Plexaderm is paraben-free, mineral oil-free, fragrance-free, all the things you should be demanding from your skincare products. So it's going to be great for that sensitive under eye area, which is where Plexaderm really shines. And we wanted to bring it home to you in an affordable way. That's why we created this trial pack. What this does is give you 6 pre-portioned applications for $14.95.
Wow.
We're also going to send it to you with free shipping.
Okay.
So if you want the Plex effect for yourself, if you've been saying, I want to see what this can do for me, I've got this event, I've got this party, I've got this thing coming up, I want to look my personal best, Plexaderm, this awesome trial can get you there.
Yeah, absolutely. So if anyone has any wrinkles or under eye baggage, this is the perfect way to try out this product. And it's really great because honestly, Amy, skincare can be quite expensive. So it's so nice that this product like Plexaderm will give our viewers real results and then they don't have to spend that much money. So let's give our viewers a chance to take the Plexaderm 10-minute challenge. Today you can actually try Plexaderm, like Amy said, for just $14.95 plus free shipping by visiting plexadermtrial.com or by calling the number on the screen. Again, you can go to plexadermtrial.com or you can call 1-800-752-0378. Yes. So thank you so much, Amy. Appreciate it. And I'll see you after the break. This segment sponsored by Plexaderm.
Living Local 15, proudly driven by the Kelly Automotive Group. Go to the Living Local 15 page on WANE.com for recipes from the show, to watch a segment again, and to get information on products and services featured on Living Local 15. Content segments during today's Living Local 15 were paid for by these sponsors.